Coming to you live from the Metpark Sports Center in the heart of Pasay City. We welcome you to the 2025 National Developmental Sports League Basketball Series. And we'll take a look at our games for today. The usual 6-game swing. And we're our first game between the San Beda Red Cubs and the R1 Sports Team. So again, better hang on to your seats, grab your popcorn because it's going to be a long day. Again, only here in the Metpark Sports Center, so better tune in here. Of course, come to our venue if you're not doing anything to experience some free, high-intensity basketball action. And the name is Cholo Pangilinan covering the action with the one and only Coach Noy Africa.
But yeah, I'd just like to say, isn't it a little too early for popcorn, Cho?
Perhaps breakfast first. But right now, we'll be taking a look at our team standings first for the 19 and under division.
So far in the 19 and under division, you have the Perpetual Junior Altas at 3-1. The Red Cubs still undefeated after 3 games. The Staglets evening out their win-loss record at 2-2. On the other end, for the 25 under, the Red Lions currently also undefeated at 4-0. Smash Basketball 3-1, and the Saints currently at 3-0.
So 2 San Beda teams in both the 19 and 25 under divisions undefeated. Let's see if that'll change for today. But for now, we'll be turning it over to our courtside reporter, Ndsl, for a pre-game report.
Thank you, Cholo and Coach Noy. A full-strength San Beda Red Cup squad is set to take on short-handed R1 Sports, who've only got 6 available players. Depth favors San Beda, but in basketball, it only takes 5 to take the magic. The question is, will the underdog rise, or will the Red Cups run away with it? This is your Ndsl, your courtside reporter.
Good morning, basketball fans. Live from the Metpark Sports Center in Pasay City. This is day 5 competition of the inaugural season of the National Developmental Sports League. Our first game of 6 featuring the 19 under game. R1 Sports versus the San Beda University Red Cubs. And now let's meet the starters first for R1 Sports. At center, number 23, Ilowan Muni. Point guard, number 7, Marcos Rico. Shooting guard, number 20, Jeet Indalo. Small forward, number 77, Chapo Evangelio. And power forward, number 24, Aaron Ignacio. Head coach for R1 Sports, Ron Ferrer. And now let's give it up for the SB Red Cubs. At center, number 24, Aston Lago. Point guard, number 27, Kirby Bakat. Shooting guard, number 10, Francis Lomongo. Small forward, number 12, Benjak Bayani. And at power forward, number 16, Tristan Ponsalat. Head coach for the Red Cubs is Miko Roldan. Our officials for this first game are Coach Heap, Roden Lamprea. Umpire 1, Sairaf Ungat. Umpire 2, Ian Fajardo. This game is under the supervision of our Commissioner, Joel Ngo. This is the National Developmental Sports League, ang Liga ng Atleta Pilipino!
Again, this game is between the San Beda Red Cubs, the stacked San Beda Red Cubs, and the undermanned R1 Sports, as we're seeing a different kind of starting 5 for the boys of Coach Migo Roldan. For the first 3 points of the game, that came from Francis Lomongo.
Well, talking about the San Beda Red Cubs, they may seem stacked, but they're actually having a new look here, as a lot of these players very new to the team, as most of their seniors graduated and has moved on to their senior team.
And again, right off the bat, San Beda seems to know their advantage. That is their strength in numbers. Perhaps the reason why they launched a different starting 5. But let's see what R1 Sports has in mind. Jeet Intano, a familiar name, going to the rack, getting fouled, 2 freebies coming up.
Well, when you say strength in numbers, if you just look at the benches of both teams, there's only one sub for R1 Sports. Well, you have pretty much a full roster for the Red Cubs.
At the line, Intano will miss that first free throw. Played for Team Makati in the recently concluded NBTC. 0 out of 2 to start for Jeeth Intano.
Well, this is really going to be a tough workout for R1 Sports, as the Red Cubs having the deeper bench. And of course, you could say that they would be better prepared being a school-based team.
Meanwhile, Punzalan, not that time. A chance to respond for R1. Intano trying to get free. Evangelio gets it instead. Had a great game yesterday. Evangelio nowhere to go. Hands it off to Rico. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. They need to push shot up. Ignacio loses it. Bakat. Forward dish. Lomongo. To Lago up top. Back to Lomongo. He goes right. Stops. Sends it inside. Punzalan claims his lane.
Well, it's really nice to see the Red Cubs try to pound that paint early. Use that seemingly height advantage and hopefully try to wear out also the bigs of R1 Sports.
2 minutes passing by our opening period. Lago calling or getting called for that foul.
Well, that time, Pinlock using his speed against Lago. Trying to test the lateral skills, the movement of Lago, and that time was able to fish for a foul.
And considering the situation of R1 Sports, free throws will be a crucial component in today's game.
Most definitely. They'll be hard-pressed to get their offense going, especially since the ball pressure from the Red Cubs trying to meet their defenders really high.
5-1, still no field goal for the boys of R1. Bakat to Agbayani. Bakat again at the right side. He attacks left, steps inside to Lago. 2 points for the big guy.
That's a great find. Being able to find Lago seems to be able to create some space inside with that heft that he has.
Ignacio outside. Mooney, floater, works for him.
That has been the way for him to get his points attack. The bigger guys from the Red Cubs who are a little bit having trouble moving laterally.
Bakat for 3, gets it to go.
So far, it's nice to see that the guards from San Beda able to create for their teammates while also being able to call their numbers every once in a while.
Again, Curvy Bakat, a new face for the Red Cubs. Perhaps we'll see him in the upcoming NCAA season in the juniors division this September. Speaking of Bakat, he'll lose the basketball in transition. Forward pass, Ignacio the bump. Not that time against the much bigger Lago, but he'll be shooting 2 freebies. 10-3, only 1 field goal so far for R1. And a couple of free throws. Again, that'll be a crucial component.
It's like already the second or third trip to the line for R1 Sports, and it's helping them to at least somehow keep in step with the Red Cubs early here in the first quarter.
But that's not going to happen if they miss their freebies.
Well, it's one thing to get a trip to the free throw line, and it's another to actually make those free throws.
Well, Ignacio makes 1, so that's better than none. But still, they're trailing by 6 points, and not really the most efficient game for them, at least so far.
R1 Sports very comfortable just sitting in that zone, trying to preserve their energy as they only have 6 players.
Bakat to the corner, Lomongo for 3. Short, Punzalan inside, shakes the cage.
Majority of the points for the Red Cubs coming from the inside.
4 minutes passing by our first period. Agbayani almost getting that steal. Evangelio for 3. Won't work. Rebound by Markson Buenaventura.
Lee is one of the key holdovers for the Red Cubs.
Lomongo, too strong. Mooney steps on the brakes, finds Ignacio. R1 will set it up. Evangelio sorting his cards. Ignacio provides the pick. Evangelio, stolen by Benjo. Punzalan, back to Agbayani. 2 points for Benjo. Timeout called by Coach Ron Ferrer as San Beda now earning a 10-point lead. We'll be back for more action. We go back to the action with the last 5 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in our first period. So new faces for San Beda. Rafael Bautista entering, same with Enrico Feliciano, Basti Villanueva, and Ronbert Bulaso. And for R1, Lopez entering the game, their only substitution. As Intano will attack. Drops it to Ignacio. The Red Cubs pushing the pace. Bulaso running. Bulaso body to body. He'll get fouled.
Still the Red Cubs trying to pound that paint, that time in transition, just keeping the dribble, attacking all the way. No one stopping the basketball. Able to fish for the foul. 2 freebies now.
Another new face on that Red Cubs roster, Ronbert Bulaso. First one won't go.
Actually, only see a few familiar faces from this Red Cubs squad, from the one who played just a few months ago in the NCAA. Markson Buenaventura. I think Dwayne Nonato, I remember from another league, and of course, Gravador.
Yuri Sanjuan not yet entering the game. Ignacio losing it, turning the ball over to the Red Cubs.
I mean, for the Red Cubs, you could see that maybe they're a little overmatched against this R1 Sports squad. But I think more than the score, Coach Miko Roldan would like to see these players run the system and see who actually fits into the way they want to run their system.
That's going to be the task at hand, as obviously San Beda having that really big advantage. Feliciano, another familiar face, won't go. Markson Buenaventura fades away, won't work. Another try, Villanueva finally getting fouled.
So they continue to still pound the paint. We haven't really seen a lot of perimeter shots for the Red Cubs. You like how they recognize the advantage and just continue to attack the front line of R1 Sport.
First one goes in for Basti Villanueva. Under 4 minutes remaining. Make it an 11-point lead now for the boys of Coach Miko Roldan. Of course, former San Beda Red Cub himself. Same with Coach Ralph Rivera.
But the difference is Coach Ralph actually played for the seniors rank, while Coach Miko moved to FEU for his college career.
And both coaches was under Coach Ato Badulato. Intano sizing up his defender. And he'll get fouled on the active shooting.
Right now, R1 Sports really just settling for one-on-one plays, and that's allowing the San Beda defense to just rest, and you rely on your on-ball perimeter defense as opposed to making the defense, a team defense, work.
And now we're turning it over to our courtside reporter, Jana Zaplan.
R1 Sports finally broke through with their first victory yesterday, a milestone achievement for the club that entered the league with no expectations of winning, let alone competing at a high level this early. The win is a testament to the team's fighting spirit. Even when they were down to just 6 available players, R1 Sports refused to fold. Head coach Ron Ferrer captured the mood, best saying, "Live what you have." With that being said, team captain Ignacio Player de Dictatoria still recovering from a motorcycle accident, and other players who have commitments make the reasons for them being shorthanded for this match. Now they're down with points. Can they make the most out of it? Coach Noy and Cholo.
Thank you very much, Jana, for that report. And hopefully, of course, the Dictatoria recovers from that accident. And again, hopefully for the next games, they can have a different situation.
For any team, of course, after getting your first win, that is usually all it takes for a team to try and build momentum. And I mean, they may be undermanned right now, but maybe they could bring in some of that momentum as Intano will check out for R1 Sports.
San Beda right now with the rack. Feliciano sorting the cards. Inside, Villanueva, 2 points.
Still the same story for the Red Cubs. Found that ball inside. Additional points in the paint for them.
Rico heavily guarded by Feliciano. Ignacio stops. Outside again, Rico for 3. R1 still won't hit. Renbert Bulaso in transition, 2 points.
Well, that has been the problem for R1 Sports. Very basic in transition. First order of business, stop the basketball. No one there to stop the penetration.
22-4. R1 Sports down by a bunch, but they'll draw another foul.
Well, the Red Cubs may be up, but so far in the first quarter, they've been fouling too much, just giving up too many free throws to R1 Sports. Fortunately for them, R1 Sports are not really very consistent shooting from the line.
And for sure, this will be a different game if they're making their freebies. First one was no good for Mooney. Second one on its way. He'll go 0 out of 2. Feliciano grabs the rebound. Of course, former player from St. Jude. As he gets it back. Trying to find an open guy. Finds Bautista for 3. The former UST Tiger Cub gets it to go.
That's a facet that the Red Cubs will really need. A perimeter shooter, especially with the height that Bautista brings to the table.
Almost a steal. Lopez steps back. Badly misses. Bulaso, forward dish. Villanueva, 2 points.
This second 5 from the Red Cubs, actually a little more athletic than their starters, Villanueva, Bautista, and San Buenaventura. Very athletic bigs.
A lot of instruments for the Red Cubs. Lopez up top against a much taller Bautista. Evangelio for 3 with a hand on his face.
I feel like some of the players are actually distracted with this 4-point line. They're pretty much tempted to try and take it from that line, but luckily that time for Evangelio stepping on that 4-point line, able to hit from deep.
And that is the case. A lot of players actually set up their play above the 4-point line, mistaking it for the 3-point line.
Although I think it's a little bit of the temptation to actually show that I can hit it from the 4-point line.
That's another thing. As we see, Lopez initially positioning himself. And you see him attempting beyond the 4-point line. But again, there is no 4 points here. And will that count?
I don't think that's going to count. The buzzer had already sounded before he took that shot.
But our eagle-eyed officials will make sure, of course with the help of Commissioner Sir Joel Ngo. And that shot could make the score of R1 finally double digits.
Just too much of an fake. Took a little more time.
Another look. Oh, looks like it won't.
It's actually closer than I thought.
No basket, and that'll conclude our first period, 27-7. 20-point lead by the Red Cubs. We'll be back for more. Back to the action here at the MetPark Sports Center in Pasay City. 20-point lead handled by the San Pedro Red Cubs. As we're seeing for the first time today, Dwayne Nonato, Bill Gravador, and Joaquin Wagan. Same with Judy San Juan.
So this is almost a third five for the Red Cubs. Only Lago returning from the first five.
Evangelio unable to knock down that three. He made one a while ago. Had a great game, by the way, yesterday. Talking about JP Evangelio of R1. Right now, San Juan had a great game as well. I believe was the best player of the game in their win yesterday. As Lago will lose it. He'll get it back. Gravador inside. Big boy moves for Bill.
But if you watch how Bill Gravador plays and you look at the stat sheet, it's not really going to be, consistent. Because this kid, he's going to do a lot of things on the floor that won't show up in the stat sheet. And just right there, just took the ball away from the R1 Sports player. Rises up and makes a basket.
And more importantly, converts it into a three-point play. Big boy Bill, built like a boxer.
Oh, yeah. And also very impressive is the game of Jury San Juan. I didn't think that he could actually be one of the main options in scoring for the Red Cubs, but he has shown that he has that ability. Same with Mooney, who has majority of the points so far for R1 Sports.
Perhaps if San Juan can improve that three-point shooting, he may be more dangerous as Lago gets 2 points.
Well, he is an old school big, very comfortable operating inside the paint. When he gets it that deep, it's really hard to stop Lago.
Mooney against a much slower Lago. He will choose to send it out. Intano in front of Wagan. Not that time, Gravador climbing up the ladder for that rebound. Bill losing it, but luckily gets the foul.
Gravador will be a major asset for the Red Cubs. You see right there, right after grabbing that rebound, able to put the ball on the floor, put pressure on the defense.
Gravador drops it to Lago. Ashton Lago.
At that time showing that he can put the ball on the floor, but bigs like him, you'd want them to be able to attack already after one dribble. The minute he goes to that second dribble, he's very prone to getting that ball stolen.
Ignacio trying to test his waters inside. It's going to be 2 freebies coming up.
What you like about R1 Sports, they may be the smaller team, but they don't hesitate in attacking that paint. And that's why they were able to put the Red Cubs in penalty in the first quarter.
First freebie for Aaron Ignacio. No good for the 5'10" forward of R1.
I like how you have the vital statistics of these players already, Cho.
Well, I asked for them. But that, of course, I could share it in our coverage. I'm talking about Ignacio, one of the main guys of R1. They will need his services for today. Meanwhile, no good for Christian Lopez. There we go. Nonato. Stolen by Lopez. They are running. Inside, Ignacio the fake. Ignacio, he'll travel.
On the up fake, was able to get the defense jumping, but shuffled his feet on the adjustment. But the Red Cubs playing a little sloppy, as you can see right now. R1 Sports trying to put ball pressure higher right now.
Lago inside, forcing the issue. Ignacio diving for it. And he gets rewarded.
They're able to force the turnover. As again, that time Lago got that ball a little too high, and I think that's already the third personal foul on Lago.
Ignacio again, looking to create, hands it off to Evangelio. Lopez, back to Ignacio. Inside to Mooney. Outside again to Lopez. He'll go left. Nowhere to go outside. Intano this time. Fires. Well contested by Wagan.
I like how Wagan just stayed in front of Intano despite the multiple dribbles. Almost a turnover.
A lot of activity happening. Possession still with San Beda.
Yeah, still a second to cross the half-court line. You're going to have to receive this in the front court.
San Juan looking for a teammate. Stolen by Lopez. Evangelio goes left. Donato stopping him. Ignacio for three. No good for the former member of Team Laguna in the NBTC.
I like how our commissioner not liking the extracurricular activities between the players.
Of course, props to our Commissioner Joel Lingo and to the rest of the officials for not letting anything slide. San Juan. Size advantage, but for some reason losing the basketball. Mooney pulling the chair that time. Lopez firing, 2 points in transition for R1.
Better decision right there for Lopez and Mooney, actually, seeing that the numbers was on the side of the Red Cubs, able to pull up from the mid-range.
Donato stops, gets fouled. He'll be going to the line.
Wayne Donato, one of the incoming rookies for the Red Cubs. I feel like he's really one of the promising guards for the Red Cubs. Shows a little immaturity still, but he's still very young, so a lot of time for him to develop as he goes to the free throw line, and almost a platoon swap also for the Red Cubs.
We're seeing Curvy Bacat enter the game, same with Villanueva. But right now we'll be turning over to our courtside reporter, Jana Zaplan.
According to Coach Miko Roldan, San Beda team captain Waki Wagan just come up from the court now in his 4th year, continues to lead with composure and trust in both his teammates and every opponent. With Ugadan absent due to palarong pamansa, the Red Cubs leaned on their full rotation, giving everyone court time. The focus remains on developing individual skills while reinforcing team concepts. Fresh off a big win against Perpetual, the team that previously eliminated them in the semifinals of NCAA, the Red Cubs are showing progress, winning all of their matches for this league so far. Coach now challenges the boys to play with maturity and consistency, treating every game with the same focus and mindset regardless of their opponent's strength. Coach Noy and Cholo.
Thank you very much, Jana. And that is the obvious goal for this game, of course. You know, basically, they can consider themselves the winner already. But the thing that they have to do is to execute the plays, you know, letting Coach Miko Roldan know that the practices have an effect on them.
Very impressive also that win over the Perpetual Junior Altas, even without Andre Ogadan, who is really one of the main scoring options of this team for the Red Cubs in this tournament. Still able to pull off that close victory.
Of course, no Andre Ogadan that time, no problem. Juris San Juan stepping up big time. But we'll talk about that more after this timeout called by Coach Ron Ferrer. We'll be back for more basketball. We go back to the action. This is the one and only National Developmental Sports League Basketball Series. And of course, Spalding, that is our official basketball of the Ndsl Basketball Series. Big time lead for the Red Cubs, but I'm sure the score doesn't matter to them. What matters is if they execute their practice plays right.
So far, even they already have 37 points on the board, but no one really dominating the offense for them. Their top scorer, I believe Villanueva, already with 8 points in the game. But so far, already more than half of the players they've fielded have already scored in this game.
Under 4 minutes remaining in our second period. Let's see what R1 Sports has in mind. Again, they're playing with limited troopers. But who knows? So Bakat will trigger the inbound for the Red Cubs. Villanueva trying to get free. Punzalan was asking for it. Ends up with Lumongo. Bakat back to Lumongo outside. Shot clock down to 8 seconds. Villanueva provides the pick. Agbayani will try a three. Bingo for Benjo.
Red Cubs have been very selective with their outside shots. Whenever they take them, those are coming from set plays. So that's why they're getting good open looks from the perimeter.
Over 3 minutes remaining. 40-11. Lopez losing it. Agbayani with another steal. Benjo to Punzalan. 2 points for the Red Cubs in transition.
And that has been the trademark of the Red Cubs even back in the days of Coach Ato Badolado. They will punish you from those turnovers, going to transition from defense to offense really quickly.
Of course, the father of Benjo Agbayani, Jay, also played for the Red Cubs in his high school days.
Second generation Red Cub who played for UP in college.
Evangelio, 2 points before the time expires.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, his father was a high school teammate of Coach Miko Roldan. I believe they came from the same batch in high school.
Small world for the Red Cubs as Agbayani again scores 2 points.
I think he likes that we're talking about his dad. Back-to-back baskets for Agbayani.
And if I'm not mistaken, 2 seasons ago, the Red Cubs wore the same exact jersey style that the team of his father, Jay, wore.
I'm not really aware of that.
So technically, he wore the same number, wore the same design, and has the same last name. Basically, wore the same jersey.
Unfortunately, not having his surname at the back of his jersey in this game.
Well, that's a different issue. Right now, R1 just trying to go through the motions. Perhaps a chance to see who can produce outside their usual suspects. Of course, we have the likes of Intano, Lopez, and Ignacio. Even Evangelio. But Coach Ronfer will see perhaps a hidden gem in his 6-man lineup as Benjo goes right inside to Lumongo. Jumper from the mid-range.
Red Cubs very comfortable just taking what the defense is giving Lumongo, showing that he has that mid-range shot in his bag.
Inside. Give and go action for Lopez and Ignacio.
Coach Miko cannot be happy with that very basic movement from R1 Sports. His team unable to react properly on the defensive end.
Inside, Villanueva. 2 more points for the lanky Basti Villanueva.
That's quite the unselfish play right there for Punzalan. Already had a shot but saw an open teammate.
30 seconds remaining. Ignacio gets blocked. He'll get it back. Intano picks it up for 3. In and out. Shot clock is off. Sanbera steps out of breaks was Benjo Agbayani. Bakat looking at the clock. Wise move for the Red Cubs. Bakat goes right. In and out. Put back still won't fall. Another try. And they finally get it. Not the best way to get 2 points, but 2 points is 2 points at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. And just not giving up on the play. That's definitely going to count, as he had easily more than a second to get that shot up.
Let's take a look at our move of the game. I knew it. It was this one. Villanueva between two defenders rising up again. If you're up, or like if you're against someone like Basi Villanueva, there's nothing you could do but you just jump. We'll be back for more after a short break. And at the half, it's 52-17. Again, an obvious landslide in favor of the Red Cubs. And of course, the goal for them is to really see if the practices they have has had an effect on the way they play on actual games. And for R1, again, just going through the motions, but perhaps a way to find another gem hidden in that roster, perhaps outside of their usual suspects.
So far, the Red Cubs have really just taken high-quality shots. That's why they're making a good percentage of them. 68.8% from the field so far for the Red Cubs, only 30.4 for R1 Sports. And they've been very selective in taking those outside shots, only taking 6, making 4. So that's a very high 67% from the three-point area for the Red Cubs. When it comes to free throws, this is where it could be an advantage for R1 Sports. They've gone to the line 12 times, only made 2 of them, 16.7%, while holding the Red Cubs to just 7 attempts from the line. So defensively, the Red Cubs have been fouling too much. That could be something that they need to address here in the second half. Play defense with your feet, not with your hands. And also for the Red Cubs, they've dominated the rebounding department. 27 for them, only 6 for R1 Sports. But for R1 Sports, they haven't been taking, they've been taking care of the ball quite well, only having 5 turnovers. But really, the point of playing basketball is to put that ball in the basket.
So R1 Sports will have to climb a mountain for this second half. And San Beda, arguably one of the best, if not the best, high school and collegiate basketball program in the Philippines, producing a lot of legends and professionals along the years, as Bautista will miss that shot.
Well, again, going back to how you and Bill were covering the games yesterday, they're down by 35. So it's a matter of being able to outscore the Red Cubs by 35 when you only scored 20 points so far in this game.
Right now it's a 32-point lead. But again, that's the luxury of course, being in that team of the Red Cubs. Even with that kind of lead, you got to play competitive basketball because again, of course, the goal is different, at least for today's game.
Well, at some point in the game for both of these teams, they will just stop looking at that scoreboard and just try to run their sets, try to earn more minutes for both teams.
And if you're R1, again, who knows, you're playing a school-based team. If they see what they like, they might get you.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about earning more minutes, I don't think the R1 Sports players needs to earn their minutes on the floor as they only have one sub. That's Intano, who is on the bench.
Well, that has been a common theme for them every game. You know, either 6 to 8 players only playing for the whole game. And if against San Beda losing, you know, quite a lot of players the off-season of the juniors NCAA. So again, you know, who knows? If you play well in this game, if they like what they see, they might just recruit you.
You might see them in red come NCAA
Yes,
season 101.
And again, it's not like these players from R1 have no experience with competitive basketball.
And, they've actually responded well so far here in the third quarter, scoring 8 points in about 2 minutes of action.
Actually, Jeeth Intano having experience in the junior MPBL 16 and under division for Binyanta Takjel. So that's one thing to take note. Same goes with JP Evangelio, member of the Perpetual Help Junior Altas in the NCAA South. Or perhaps I believe they're called the Perpetual Binyan Saints.
So again, actually, some of these players are actually familiar with one another, even though they're playing against each other. As I'm pretty sure they've met each other in the other leagues.
Same goes with their other teammates. Again, a lot of them having already outside experience. As right now, again, it's all about showing what you've got, not looking at the scoreboard anymore. Center shoot, Lopez from way outside. Not that time, Mooney, still no good.
Again, the temptation of that 4-point line still counts for 3.
Bulaso going hard to the rack. Basket and one. A chance to make it a 3-point play.
Like how Renberg Bulaso, whenever he puts on the jets, able to get to the paint. That time almost uncontested. Just someone reaching in at the last second, committing that foul, and a 3-point opportunity for Bulaso. At
the line, it's Renberg Bulaso. In and out on that freebie. They try to get it back, they won't. Ignacio outside to Mooney for 3. Rolls out of the rim. San Juan having a hard time getting that rebound, but he'll get it back to San Beda.
Teams tend to fall in love with the three-point shot. At that time, the ball was already inside the paint, but a good kick out though. Open shot for Mooney, but unable to hit.
Bautista goes left. Wild shot goes in anyway for Rafael Bautista.
And I like how he reacted as if he's done it before. No smile, no acknowledgement that he made that difficult shot.
Mooney outside to Lopez. To the other side, Evangelio. Contested 3, doesn't matter.
Just enough space for Evangelio to be able to rise up. Too much space given there by Bautista.
And again, perpetual Binyan Saint JP Evangelio having a great game yesterday. But then again, they have the strength in numbers against them. 30-point lead as we are in the halfway mark of our third period. Lopez one more time. Won't hit. Looks to have that green light.
Not much movement on the offense that time for R1 Sports. Everybody else just standing around watching whoever has the ball.
The spin. The shot, no good for Basti. At the break, Ignacio steps out of breaks, hands it off. Lopez to Evangelio one more time. In and out.
Well, again, R1 Sports did struggle in the first half from the three-point area. Only 1 out of 10. No one stopping the basketball once again.
Enrico Feliciano, former St. Jude player, scoring that basket in transition. Yes, just like what he said, Coach Noy, no one was there to check on him. And we'll be back after this short break.
During the halftime, Coach Ron Ferrero used the moment to refocus his team. He's emphasizing better decision-making, especially on steals, and helping them recognize the right moments to attack. His message is clear: keep trying, don't let frustration take over, and stick to the basics, rules, techniques, and fundamentals. Above all, ilaro to ng may puso. Meanwhile, San Beda continues to display discipline and a strong sense of team support. A key takeaway from the first half is their unselfishness, allowing players a chance to contribute. It's a reflection of a team-first culture that's being built not just for wins, but for long-term growth. Coach Noy and Cholo.
Thank you very much, Jana, and great mindsets to have for both Coach Miko Roldan and Coach Ron Ferrer. Of course, for R1, you need some positivity on that bench. On the other side, no complacency for Coach Miko.
Of course, for Coach Miko Roldan, continuing to stress the importance of playing as a team, and as a testament to that, in our first half, 10 Red Cubs fielded in, was able to score. While for the other side, for R1 Sports, it's all about the basics, all about the fundamentals, as they give up yet another easy 2 points for the Red Cubs.
Villanueva scoring once again on that Red Cubs possession. Of course, off that beautiful feed from Juris San Juan. And talking about R1 Sports, they actually had the team in the recently ended NBTC. I believe players like Dedicatoria and Christian Lopez played in that roster. Same with Marcos Rico. As Gravador puts his opponent in a grave.
I know the pun was intended, but Gravador, a very physical player, even going strong to the basket that time.
Lopez goes left. He attacks, scoring at will.
Not exactly a good sign here for the Red Cubs, giving up layups here, as already R1 Sports with 15 points in this quarter after only scoring 17 in the first half.
A deep ball coming from Basti Villanueva.
Basti Villanueva has really just been dominating that paint.
A lot of bright spots actually for R1. As Evangelio hits again from outside. This will be a different game if they had perhaps more than 8 players.
And also if they did not allow themselves to be deep in the hole. Gravador able to get another rebound and the basket.
Bel Gravador taking his opponent to the graveyard. Perhaps we should give him a nickname. Bel Gravador, the guardian of the graveyard.
Really just very a physical specimen here for the Red Cubs. I'd like to see him have that growth spurt and get a little taller, because he's really gonna have quite a career, especially when he gets to college.
And also has a sweet stroke from the free throw line. Hopefully he'll improve that aspect of his game. Mooney from way outside gets to the goal in front of the much taller Villanueva.
Once again, they keep on shooting at least a step or two away from that three-point line. Again, that four-point line, quite a distraction for the players so far in this tournament.
Gravador showing initiative. Tried to show some range but won't hit. But good to see him having that confidence to shoot from outside.
Well, that's a must-have for any perimeter player, to be able to help space the floor. It's a great on-ball defense there by Dwayne Nonato.
Rico. To Ignacio this time. Drops it to Mooney. Not that time. Ignacio gets it back. Still won't go. They get it back. A wrestling match on the floor. In transition, here comes the Red Cubs. Wagan, forward pass. Nonato stops, drops it. Punzalan, 2 points.
Smart play that time for Nonato. Had the wide open three, but a teammate more wide open inside the paint.
7 seconds remaining. Rico goes right, loses it. Gravador getting fouled. Or rather will turn the ball over, but that doesn't matter. Time runs out, and that's the end of our first 3 chapters. 73 for the Red Cubs, 38 for R1 Sports. And we'll be back for more basketball. This is once again the Ndsl Basketball Series. One last ride between these two teams. Again, the San Pedro Red Cubs going up against R1 Sports as they're dominating their opponents, talking about the San Pedro Red Cubs. But again, in a game like this, the score doesn't matter. Of course, for San Pedro, they would want to execute more effectively. For R1, they would want to do things like those.
Well, actually, in that third quarter, R1 Sports actually evened up the score. Both teams scoring 21 points in that third quarter. So if you're the Red Cubs, you do not want to give any kind of hope to the R1 Sports squad because this is basketball. Anything can happen. They're still up by uh, 32 right now, but nevertheless, you do not want to give that confidence to your opponents. And I think right now for R1 Sports, they know that they can hang with the Red Cubs. The only problem is they're down by 32.
Meanwhile, bad miss from Mooney. That Villanueva defense bothering him.
And you like how he quickly acknowledged that it was a bad shot, already apologizing to his coach, who doesn't mind that shot.
Bill attacks. Gravador. Not that time. He gets it back. Bill inside. 2 points for Gravador.
Well, sometimes players actually get a lot of offensive rebounds due to their activity. But that time, Bill Gravador also being at the right place at the right time. He went out of bounds quickly, set his feet back inside, got the rebound. But right now, R1 Sports beginning to cook from the three-point area here in the second half.
And even if R1 Sports ends up losing this game, Christian Lopez showing that he's got range. Actually, same with Evangelio.
Well, they made 5 threes in that third quarter after only hitting 1 in the first half. And right now, the Red Cubs are giving up some easy baskets to R1 Sports.
But a platoon substitution in just a moment for the Red Cubs. Punzalan hands it off. Gravador, one more time. No foul call. Lopez again, looking to shoot, will attack instead. Mooney, reverse lay-in. 2 more points for R1.
Right now, R1 Sports getting layups. Lead down to just 25 from a high of 35.
But Coach Miko doesn't seem too worried as he launches another 5. San Buenaventura, Lago, Agbayani, Bacat, and Lumongo.
Well, that's actually one of the points in starting strong. Build up a good enough cushion and you can actually coast the rest of the way. But you do not want to be building bad habits very early in the off-season.
Mooney losing it. His teammate getting it. Ignacio will go to the line. 2 freebies coming up.
You like how at this stage of the ball game, it's actually R1 Sports who seems to be coming out with a lot more energy in the Red Cubs. But looks like the third wind has already set in for R1 Sports, and they're coming out with a lot of energy here in the second half.
Again, this would be a different game if they made their earlier free throws.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They only hit, I believe, like 16% from the free throw area in the first half.
3 minutes passing by chapter 4. Agbayani has it outside. San Buenaventura back to Agbayani. He'll go right. He'll get fouled. And his dad watching him just, I believe, at the right side of that corner.
Without any reaction after he missed that layup. But he has definitely grown. I believe he was already in the lineup in the previous season.
2 seasons.
For the Red Cubs, but didn't really get to play a lot. And he's showing right now that he's ripe for the picking. Should be able to earn more minutes moving forward for the Red Cubs.
And he definitely has the instruments. Has the size shooting. But a timeout called right here by Coach Ron Ferrer, as we'll be back for more. We go back to the action. 30-point lead for the Red Cubs. Coach Miko again not too worried. Same with Coach Ralph Rivera. And of course, Coach Don Villamin with them. Evangelio for 3. Won't work.
Again, for any team trying to, going up against this R1 sports squad, they may be down by 30, but other teams may be a little wary, especially with the way they shoot those threes. When they get hot, they can be very scary. As Lago, once again, the big man just owning the paint.
Ignacio outside. Mooney. Outside again. Lopez has been firing hot this game. Crossover move. San Buenaventura trying to blitz on him. Rico for 3. They get it to go.
That time the Red Cubs gambling on defense, leaving that wide open 3 for R1 Sports.
Again, this would be a different game if R1 had more than perhaps 8 players, or maybe just exactly 8 players. As Lomongo steps out of bounds.
Maybe it was a case also of having to play too early. It seems like their offense only started waking up in the second half.
And you know, that's another case for a club-based team. You know, less, not that organized when it comes to schedules. So maybe that's another factor for them. Unlike San Beda, of course, their academic year already ended. So no more studying for these boys. But on the other side, again, R1 having different schools. Who knows? They're not on the same page, basically.
Also, being with a school-based team, a lot more organized, with the system already in place. Even if the energy may not be there right away at the start of the ball game, you still have that fallback of just running your system and do what you do in practice, as opposed to, as I said, R1 Sports, a little more, ragtag, a little more freewheeling in their offense. That's easier for a team like the Red Cubs to stop defensively.
And I'm more than sure these Red Cubs train every day.
Oh,
I mean, when I was training with the Red Cubs, we trained every day. So I'm sure what more for these kids, for these boys actually, not kids anymore.
In those days that you don't train, you're playing.
So there you go. Another 4 minutes remaining. Again, R1 just going through the motions, but you can't really say. I mean, if you're Coach Ferrer, you can't say they had a bad game.
Yeah, most definitely, especially here in the second half, where after only scoring 17 in the first half, already they've scored almost 40 points in the second half.
Timeout called right here by Coach Ron Ferrer. We'll be back for more. Under 4 minutes remaining in Chapter 4. San Beda with a landslide win. Again, Coach Miko Roldan and the rest of the coaches not too worried.
I believe they already did their work in the first half and pretty much have a bit of coasting here in the second half, just really trying to run their sets.
So new faces again. Bolaso, Punzalan, Feliciano, Bautista, and San Buenaventura this time. A different combination for Coach Miko. A taller lineup actually. 6 to shoot. Inside Mooney.
Mooney has been one of those players who has taken over the offense for R1 Sports here in the second half.
And Bautista will score.
Fortunately, you have to play both sides of the basketball as they've been getting their offense going, but on the other end, they've been still giving up too many easy points for the Red Cubs.
R1 still doing their best to execute. R1 Sports, a Laguna-based club team, but again, their players having rich experience. Some of them playing for schools. Again, JP Evangelio, part of the Binyan Saints of Perpetual Binyan. And of course, some NBTC players as well. And for San Beda, campus is located all the way in Taytay, Rizal.
Which I'm pretty sure you're very familiar with.
It's going to be a long trip for them, but it's going to be a happy trip.
They were here at the venue very early, getting their shots up. So if they were here before 7, they probably left Taytay around 6. So they were up probably at 4.
I mean, I saw Feliciano already shooting, warming up way before I was here. I mean, when I arrived, he was already sweating.
Although it is quite warm inside the venue. The minute I stepped inside the venue, I was already sweating.
2 minutes remaining. But R1 is still doing their best. Great way to show respect to your opponents, of course. Ignacio, another bright spot for R1. Hopefully we'll see him in a team jersey someday.
And again, going back to your point about respecting your opponents, what you liked about both of these teams, nothing extracurricular, no taunting, no celebrations needed. Of course, the Red Cubs have been very workmanlike in their attitude, just trying to get the job done. No celebration, no taunting.
It's all business for the boys of Coach Miko Roldan. Meanwhile, Punzalan one more time. And this is the kind of game where you can't really pinpoint who stood out the most.
Yeah, it was most definitely a team victory for the Red Cubs. And you see, even on that play, that was already a breakaway layup for Bautista, but choosing to still drop it off to an open teammate.
But let's see who shall get that best player of the game honors. I think Villanueva had the most points. Again, if I'm not mistaken.
Right from the get-go, aside from Lago, he was the one who imposes will inside. And aren't you the one choosing who's the best player? I'm asking you.
I think we are. I think you are. Not me.
Because you seem worried about the difficulty of trying to choose a best player. But yeah, again, I see your point because it was just really a total team effort for the Red Cubs. You know, sometimes, yeah, that's what's hard about trying to choose a best player when it was a total team effort. When you choose just one player, you seem to take away from what the team has accomplished as a team. Again, these individual awards, they don't matter in the long term. What matters is the W and, of course, the preparations for the main leagues that your team will join.
And I'm sure these players from San Beda also don't really care. Or maybe they do, just a little.
A little bit, yeah.
As young men. But nevertheless, a win is a win. I'm sure everybody feels good. And I'm sure Coach Miko feels better.
Should be a fun ride going back home to Taytay.
All the way to Taytay. That is our game, 89-63. Landslide win for the boys of Taytay Rizal. The San Beda Red Cubs dominating R1 Sports. But again, for R1 Sports, you can't say they had a bad game. It was just the lack of players. As we'll take another look at our move of the game. The big guy is showing some footwork. And again, that's going to be a powerful weapon for San Beda come September in the NCAA Juniors Division. That is Ashton Lago for our move of the game. Again, that is our final score, 89-63. The San Beda Red Cubs, another day in the office for them. Again, perhaps, arguably the best program, basketball program in the Philippines. Our player of the game, again, we had difficulties choosing this one, but Basti Villanueva standing out the most. A double-double performance for him, 18 and 10. And no surprise given his physique, of course, his height, his wingspan, and his abilities, of course. And now we turn it over to our courtside reporter, Jana Zaplan, for our player of the game interview.
Thank you, Cholo. A double-double performance indeed with Basti Villanueva with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Congratulations on being the player of the game. First of all, I just want to ask, na undefeated kayo for this league. How do you stay grounded or how do you stay humble despite all the wins that you've had?
Yun lang po, sinasabi naman po ng coaches sa amin na wala pa naman po kami talaga napapatunayan and di naman po talaga ito yung goal namin, pero ang focus lang po namin is one game at a time at saka next na po yung iba.
That's definitely a great mindset. So what are you looking forward to on the next games?
Yun lang po, mag-stay humble lang po kami, work hard sa practice, pukpok pa po lalo, and gawin lang po namin yung roles namin para makapag-contribute po sa team.
We're definitely looking forward to that. Do you want to say thank you to anyone right now?
Thank you po sa buong San Beda community na sumusuporta po sa amin, sa mga coaches po, sa mga parents na nandito. Thank you rin po sa mga sponsors namin, kila Father. Yun lang po, at saka sa mga supports po namin.
Once again, congratulations, Basti Villanueva, for being the player of the game, and of course to your team. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Jana. That is our best player of the game again, Basti Villanueva. A double-double performance as he's signing our official Spalding basketball, the official ball of our Ndsl basketball series. Again, that is a win for the San Beda Red Cubs. Another day in the office for them. But stay tuned, 5 more games on your way, so perhaps not too early for popcorn anymore. Oh, still early, still in the morning, but still our next game, for sure, this will be a treat. The Adams and Soaring Falcons of San Marcelino will go up against Caloocan's St. Clair Saints. This is Cholo Pangilinan with Coach Noy Africa and Jana Zaplan, and this is once again the NDSL Basketball Series.